Sorry, I actually forgot to press the recording button. Okay, I resume once again. So this is the Rape of the Lock by Alexander Pope. This is a mock epic, which is written in the style of the traditional epic, such as Homer's Iliad, an Odyssey, or Edmund Spenser's The Fairy Queen, or John Milton's Paradise Lost and Paradise Regained, or Italian poet Dante Alighieri's The Divine Comedy. So these are the examples of traditional epic, but here the Rape of the Lock is a mock epic, okay, which is actually which is written to satire the aristocratic society of London. Okay, so who actually are involved in exaggerated works and who actually involved in conflicts based on some trivial things, right? So the final form of the poem appeared in 1717, around 300 years ago, with the addition of Clarissa's speech and good humor. Clarissa is a character in the mock epic. The poem was much translated and contributed to the growing popularity of mock heroic in Europe. So normally we know that in traditional epic there is a hero, a masculine hero or a man. But in mock epic here we will find a female character who will play the role of heroine and the protagonist, right? So let's have the synopsis or the summary of the mock epic, The Rape of the Lock. So epic is written in poetic verse, so that's why we call it a poem. The poem of The Rape of the Lock satirizes a minor incident of life by comparing it to the epic world of the gods, and is based on an event recounted to Alexander Pope by his friend John Carlyle. Arabella Farmore and her suitors, Lord Peter. Okay, so the real story was revolving two characters. The two characters are Arabella Farmore and the other one is her suitor, Lord Peter. So they involved in a dispute based on snatching or cutting off a lock of hair. Okay, here actually the main character, Lord Peter, in real life, cut off the lock of hair of Arabella Farmore to just take a revenge. Okay, so based on this trivial matter, there was a dispute, and the thing is treated by the female and her family as an act of losing dignity. Okay, losing dignity and chastity of a woman. So that's we can compare to the rape of a woman. Okay, so that's why the title of the poem, The Rape of the Lock. So the title itself is a satire. Okay, which is indeed not actually a rape, but just a trivial act. The act of cutting off the lock of hairs. So in the poem, we will get two fictional characters. One is the female character who will be called Belinda, and the hero against her will be Mr. Baron. Okay, against the representative character of Lord Peter, right?
Yes.
So Arabella Farmore and her suitor, Lord Peter, are each a member of aristocratic, recusant Catholic families in London at a time in England when, under such laws as the Test Act, all denominations except Anglicanism suffered legal restrictions and penalties. For example, Peter, being a Catholic, could not take the place in the House of Lords that would otherwise have been rightfully his. Peter had cut off a lock of Arabella's hair without permission, And the consequent argument had created a breach between the two families. The poem's title does not refer to the extreme of sexual rape, but to an earlier definition of the word derived from the Latin rapera, which meaning supine stem raptum, meaning to snatch, to grab, or to carry out. In this case, the theft and carrying away of a lock of hair. In terms of the sensibilities of the age, however, even these non-consensual personal invasion might be interpreted as bringing dishonor. Okay, so now we gonna get to know the sylphs, another character, spiritual character, or supernatural characters appeared in this monkey pig. So sylphs actually French or Italic or Latin word. Okay, in English, which means actually guardian spirits or virgins. Guardian female spirits who actually guards different things of the heroine of this monkey pig, right?
Yes.
So Pope Alexander Pope, the author of this monkey pig, also a Catholic Christian, wrote the poem at the request of his friends John Carrine, in an attempt to comically merge the two worlds, two families, the family of Lord Peter and the family of Miss Arabella Parker. Okay, the heroine with the social. He utilized the character Belinda, the fictional character in the Monkey Pig, to represent Arabella and introduce the entire system of sylphs or guardian spirits of virgins, or we can address them as goddess, okay, or spiritual spirits, ghostly like creatures, a parodized version of the gods, real gods and goddesses of conventional epic. So Pope derived his sales from the 17th century French Rosicrucian novel Ponte di Gavalis. So sylphs is a word derived from French, right? So Pope writing pseudonymously as Esdras Barnevelt also published a key to the law in 1714 as a humorous warning against taking the poem too seriously. Pope's poem uses the traditional high stature of classical epics. So Pope entirely uses the style of real epic, but he satirizes the characters, the actions of the aristocratic society in England. That's why it's a mock epic, right? So it's a satire or parody. So Pope's poem uses the traditional high stature of classical epics to emphasize the triviality of the incident. The abduction of Helen of Troy becomes here the theft of a lock of hair, right? The gods become minute sylphs. The description of Achilles' shield becomes the excursus on one of Belinda's petticoats. He also uses the epic style in invocations, lamentations, exclamations, and similes, and in some cases adds parody to imitation by following the framework of actual speeches in Homer's Iliad. Although the poem is humorous at times, Pope keeps a sense that beauty is fragile and emphasizes that the loss of a lock of hair touches Belinda deeply. So here, Belinda's loss of hair compared to the rape or loss of chastity of the women. The feeling was shown like that. The humor of the poem. The humor of the poem comes from the stone military carved being first within the elaborate formal verbal structure of any big poem. It is a satire on contemporary society in England, which showcases the lifestyle lived by some people of that age. Pope arguably satirizes it from within rather than looking down judgmentally on the characters. Belinda's legitimate raise is thus alleviated and tempered by her good humor as directed by the character Clarissa. Epic versus mock epic. What's the difference? Epic is a long narrative poem. It deals with heroic theme and adventure. It has lofty style. It sets in a remote time and place. The epic hero is larger than life. He is having superhuman strength. In John Milton's Paradise Lost is the example of epic. Here we find all characters are supernatural beings, gods, demons, angels, Adam, Eve, and other supernatural forces. Right. Again, in Homer's Iliad is the another example of epic or real epic. Here, the hero Achilles is very legendary one. Is having superhuman strength, and he is called one of the greatest warrior in human history. So now, let's get to know about mock epic, which is actually a star has got the style of epic, but it's a satire. Okay. So on the other hand, mock epic is literary work. It's also a literary work. It is comically, satirically limited the form and style of the epic. Sometimes reverse the role of gender. It treating a trivial subject in a lofty manner. It is a poem that deals unimportant things with a heroic manner. It contains epic structure, tone, and even diction, but applies minor subject matter. In a mock heroic poem, trivial things and incidents are presented in a heroic manner, which are just opposite of the heroic. So Alexander Pope's The Rape of the Lock, Geoffrey Chaucer's Nan Priest's Tale are the examples of mock epic. The protagonist of this mock epic is Arabella, far more the real character. But in the poem, we will find the representative fictional character Belinda, right? So born into the upper class aristocratic society